Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by our friends at your local Ford store and Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me here live in the Xfinity studio, it is Philly's number one hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor, and Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. What's going on today, guys?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
The preseason is underway. Obviously, yesterday we had a very special episode dedicated to the memory of Bernie Parent and what he means to the city and the Flyers. And that was, thanks for joining us for that.
It was a nice show.
I thought it was a really well done show. Today, we have to talk about something. I mean, I guess it's not cool that Bernie passed away, but Bernie himself, very cool. NHL preseason, very uncool. So something
not the coolest thing, to be sure.
The league is so unserious that they're just like, these aren't on TV. We don't care.
It is wild.
Matthew Schaefer's debut, the #1 pick on the Islanders and Flyers websites exclusively.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
That's, Trevor Zegras' first game in orange and black. I almost had a seizure watching it and was like, I can't after the first period. Another one tonight, Flyers Habs, two of the most historically great teams ever. An actual rivalry on the ice, or at least between the fans.
I feel like it's more of a rivalry on social media.
Neither of the high-profile Russians playing, so I guess it's a little forgivable that it won't be on TVs. But we have a lot to get to. First, however, a little house cleaning. Got to tell you about. Oh yes, of course. Hit the like button. Do it. We need the likes. They feed my ego and just make me feel great. And it is still Big Brothers Big Sisters month here at all PHLY and all across the All City Network. Make sure you are either donating right below the chat box. You can see a link, donate now. Boom, you can help us reach our goal. Or you go to bbbs.org and you look into perhaps becoming a mentor, a big brother or big sister if you have the time and inclination. Either would be very much appreciated. All right. Let's get into today's practice. We'll get back to Sunday's game because we haven't looked at it yet. Look forward to tonight, all that. Let's go with the Tyson Foerster update first here, fam. Not wearing a non-contact jersey. Now, he was in the non-game group, is not playing tonight. But it is exciting to see, as Charlie tweeted earlier, Tyson Foerster not wearing a non-contact jersey. Great sign. First time he's wearing a normal jersey at camp. They were saying they wanted to get to that as soon as possible. We'll see how it plays out, but he's on track. All seems well with Tyson Foerster.
Yeah, the timeline that they initially gave ended up being pretty much exactly what it ultimately was, which is Danny talked to us last Wednesday, or it might have been last Tuesday, actually. Now, yeah, it was last Tuesday because Wednesday was media day.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday, so a week from today, Danny Briere said Tyson will be in a non-contact jersey to start camp. And then within a week, we believe he will be able to wear the normal jersey and start getting ready to be in preseason games with the goal of being physically ready to go for game 1. Camp started on Thursday. It is not yet a week. And there's Tyson Foerster with the normal jersey, taking contact. He actually took a big hit at center ice. Couldn't tell who delivered the hit, but took a big hit.
Noah Juleson, I'm guessing?
Might have been Noah Juleson. He gets up, and everybody cheers. Everybody on the ice is giving him, like, the fake cheer. Like, yeah, all right, you took the big first big hit without the non-contact jersey. That said, Foerster had been taking contact. It wasn't even during the actual training camp, but it was in the captain's skates. He would wait until, like, the captain's skates were about to get done, and then he would go up to, like, Sean Couturier or Travis Sanheim and just be like, hey, can you, like, rough me up in the corner just to make me, like, feel like I'm taking some contact here? And then they would, and we were looking at it like, what the heck is Travis Sanheim doing to Tyson Foerster? But it's very clear that he was asking for it.
That's just the most hockey stuff ever.
And it really is.
That's a beautiful thing. But he's out there, and it's great. We see today he's on he's paired with Noah Cates, his mostly line mate from last year. However, not Bobby Brink. Bobby Brink playing tonight. Denver Barkey stepping in on that line. And I got to tell you, that's interesting to me. I mean, listen, the lines are going to get changed around a million different ways over the next couple of weeks. Right. I don't think we have to read everything into every single different grouping, but we have talked about as this next wave of young guys comes up, it's going to be very much a competition to see who stays, who goes. And we've talked about, listen, we know this team wants to be big. Neither Barkey nor Brink is the biggest guy in the world. Perhaps that spot is kind of up for grabs over the next few years between those two players. I found it interesting that he's filling in that spot.
That is a really good point. I do feel like the small guy role on this team, it's really only going to be one of them, right? Like, unless we're talking about the super highly skilled guys. I really can't see a world in which Brink and Barkey are both
in your top
on
9
this team. Yeah, it just seems really unlikely to me. So yeah, I agree with you that it's interesting to see him kind of slot right into Brink's spot, just to kind of see like maybe he fits there too.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think, like, I think realistically you're right that I don't see a world where they're both on this team 6 years down the line. Now, that could end up being because Barkey doesn't pan out. It could also mean Barkey does pan out and they trade Brink or don't re-sign him or whatever. But I think it more like I think there's a world where they could be, but it's not the world where Matvei Michkov is on the top line and Travis Konechny is signed for another 7 years after this one.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to look at it as, okay, we have 2 of our star players are small up front. We can't have all the rest of the guys in our top 9 also being small wingers. We need some size. But I do think that in the short term, it's not an issue. If Barkey's ready, they'll have Barkey and Brink, because I definitely get the sense from Briere, and it makes sense, that he's more concerned about being too small on defense as opposed to being too small up front.
Yeah.
It still matters, but I don't think it matters quite as much to him. It makes sense. He was an undersized forward who didn't have a problem dominating. I think it's less of a concern about like, we have a couple small forwards, whatever. As long as they got that dog in them, we'll be fine. Whereas on the back end, it's more like, look, you might have that energy and you might have that fight, but a 6'4" dude is just going to have an easier time in the corners.
Takes up more space.
Yeah.
Like you need the reach on defense. It's very much a thing. I don't think it's definitely, oh yeah, one of them is gone. They're competing with each other, and definitely not in the short term.
Yeah, in the
Just
long term, maybe.
Over how this thing plays out, and when you're deciding, okay, we have to make a trade so that we can bolster other areas. When it's all right, well, we have 2 middle 6 wingers who are of equal skill, maybe, like, and they're both small. We're gonna have to move on from one. We want to be a versatile team. We don't want a bunch of just overlapping skill sets, overlapping redundant players. If those 2 turn out to be a little redundant, I just found it interesting that he filled in today. Might mean nothing at all. It's kind of something we've talked about, and then you see Barkey slot right in there, and it's okay.
I think it was more about who can replicate, because this was the first time that Foerster has played on the line with Cates in camp. He was playing, I believe he was with, was he on the Dvorak line? He wasn't with Cates. They had Cates on a line without Foerster. This is the first time that Foerster was on the Cates line. I honestly think it was probably that, okay, well, Brink's playing in the game, so he's not able to skate on that line in practice. Let's get the guy who is the most like Brink to try to give them some comfort in terms of when we go and do rushes and when we do drills, that it can sort of feel like that line without having Brink in there. That's all I really think it was today. But I do agree with you that maybe 3-4 years down the line, if both Brink and Barkey are quality Flyers, that perhaps one of them gets moved because you decide we can't be that small up front with every single one of our top 9 wing spots.
Just something I noticed today was we were talking about Tyson Foerster. Something else exciting about Tyson Foerster. We've heard this a few times, but it gets out there today that Rick Tocchet talks to Sidney Crosby quite a bit.
We know they're buds.
We know they're buds.
We know Sidney Crosby loves him.
It's kind of one of those, well, what makes Tocchet a good coach? It's like, well, a whole bunch of really good players really like him. You know, Sidney Crosby among them. And Sidney Crosby, in one of his conversations with Rick Tocchet after the World Championships, where Tyson Foerster did go and play, everyone says he was really good. Crosby thought so too, and told Tocchet the same thing, and that got brought up, I guess, when Tocchet was addressing the media today, Charlie.
Yes. Well, it was mostly that like Foerster was obviously the topic of conversation because he's back. Well, he's been back. He's wearing the normal jersey now, and Tocchet pretty much brought it up unprompted because
I feel like he said this a couple times now.
Yeah, Foerster was at the World Championships. Yeah. That's where he ultimately got the injury. It's where he got the elbow issue that became the infection. And Sidney Crosby was there. And obviously Rick Tocchet, before he's going to take the job, he's going to poll people who might be able to tell him what he's in for in terms of specific players. Sidney Crosby's clearly a guy that very rapidly responds to Rick Tocchet's calls and texts.
Yeah.
So getting that endorsement from Sidney Crosby, hey, it's pretty cool.
What I'm hearing is Sidney Crosby, when he's finished in Pittsburgh, is going to be our Joe Thornton on a 1-year league min contract to chase another cup with the Philadelphia Flyers. And
would be very funny.
It would.
Do you think it wouldn't be league minimum? It would have to be 870,000, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
I did find it funny. It was in the Athletic the other day. It was every single team. Chances Crosby ends up there because it's just like, this is what we're doing.
Right. We're playing this game.
Of course, Kurz did the Flyers section, and it was like, let's just be real. This has never happened. But there is the relationship with Tocchet, and this, he's like, okay, I'll stop. It's not going to happen. It was like chances of it, and it was like most teams are 0, and then there's a few where he might consider it. It's like Colorado and Montreal, basically. Maybe Florida if he wants to finally get a tan for the first time in his life.
He doesn't seem like a guy that wants to get a tan.
Does mayonnaise tan? I don't.
It would be as crazy as it was seeing Jaromir Jagr wearing a Flyers jersey. This would be 10 times crazy.
So it would be
because Jagr, like, he left Pittsburgh. He's in Washington. He's with the Rangers. He goes to the KHL for 3 years. This would be still franchise legend Sidney Crosby, and like as much as Jagr's beloved there, he's not Mario.
Yeah,
you know, like that's Crosby. Crosby is Mario. That would be insane. Like that would be straight up insane. And there's never been even, at least with Lemieux, like he came here after he was sick, and we gave him the big ovation, and it's like, yeah, man, even though we hate you, we respect you. That's never happened here with Crosby, and it's never going to.
No, we neither like nor respect him.
I honestly think it would be disrespectful to the legacy of Crosby and the absolute crap he has kicked out of us for the last 20 years to turn around and be like, actually, I respect him. I think that would be disrespectful. I should hate him as much as possible, and that's the only way to honor what he's actually brought to the game. That's a different story, though. All right, let's move on to Sunday's preseason opener. Again, that stream, Charlie, thank you for your service watching the stream. I watched the first period, and then I was like, this is making me dizzy.
Why can't they? It's the year of our Lord 2025. Why can't they properly stream a hockey game? Because last year they were a disaster, too.
At least it stayed on the whole time. Mm-hmm. The commentary was surprisingly close.
Well, I think what it was that they were literally just taking the feed from the arena, from UBS Arena, and then they tried to line it up with the radio commentary by Timmy and Todd Fedoruk. I mean, really what this boils down to, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, it boils down to the fact that this is technically NBC Sports Philadelphia's job as the team, the rights holder that covers the Philadelphia Flyers. And 10 years ago, they had the budget to do this. Now they don't. Like, that is what is going on here. 10 years ago, NBC Sports Philadelphia was doing well enough that they could justify sending JJ and whoever the color commentator was to wherever in preseason and send up camera people and film the games. Now they don't have the same budget, so they cut corners, and this is one place they cut corners.
And listen, again, like Xfinity sponsors here, this is more about the state of regional sports networks as a whole.
Exactly.
Because there's only like 4 left.
Yeah, there ain't a lot.
There's not a ton of regional sports networks. We have one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a surprise because like they own the team and they're based here that we actually still have ours. Like, you know, like the fact that it's all kind of under one umbrella, I think that's one of the reasons we still have one. Whereas many places, like our friends in Denver, like when you look at how DNVR really took off, if you followed how the regional sports network was going over there with altitude and everything, they couldn't watch Nuggets games. They couldn't watch Avs games for a while. It was like a pain to try to figure it out. That's kind of just the state of sports on TV right now, trying to, okay, well, how do we do the local market thing? It's annoying that we can't even get like, hey, you know, you have the ESPN Plus deal. Why isn't it just on there? Everyone's already paying for ESPN and Hulu so we can watch every game. But
again, someone has to film it.
has to like actually be there and do it.
Yeah.
To be fair, you can understand why you wouldn't want to make the investment because there's a real small number of sickos that want to watch.
Yeah, but they're very loud sickos.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're going to yell about it. But it's not a lot of sickos.
That's why it's understandable. And quite honestly, from our perspective, like, guess what we're not going to do? Pre and post for preseason games.
We'll break for Bill. Yeah.
That's fine. There's already 82 of these things, and for half the teams in the league, there's more. I don't know if we need to do. The Flyers aren't typically one of those half, but we hope they are again.
I think it's very possible that we might have about, let's say, 40 to 50% of the people who care about the fact that there aren't preseason games on television.
They're watching.
Maybe 40 to 50% of them watch our show.
Watch our show regularly. And listen, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Charlie showed me the podcast numbers recently, and they're very good.
Yeah, to be
so
clear,
we appreciate you.
We are the sickos.
Yes,
this was not derogatory.
Oh,
this was complimentary.
No.
Sickos
is a compliment.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
very much, it's why we exist.
Right,
But like, I do think that's a major part of it. But regardless, the preseason opener was on Sunday. The Flyers went up and played in Long Island, and they win. They win an 11-round shootout because that's what all of the media wants is for a game
Unreal.
to go 65 minutes and then 20. When they said 11 rounds, I was like, oh, this is what they say, rounds. Like, they always mix up rounds and number of shooters. It's like, and then like the team finally, and that's why it was uneven.
No, it wasn't actually 11.
It was 11 rounds. It was 22 shooters. That's insane.
Could you imagine if you had been doing a pre and post for that on a Sunday, a preseason game?
I would have been upset. I'll tell you what's even crazier, though, is that it was Carson Bjarnason v. Parker Gahagen.
Yeah.
And it went 22 shooters.
Pretty crazy.
That is a pretty impressive showing for the goaltenders,
really
I would say, to only give up, 2 and 3 goals.
Yeah.
And let's start with the goalies and how they played in the preseason game. Because I really liked Charlie's breakdown of it in his article up on allphly.com. Said the only negative for Kolosov this night is a positive for the organization. Carson Bjarnason also impressed in his 1 period plus overtime and shootout of action, stopping all 17 shots he faced. That's pretty impressive for Bjarny, who last year in the rookie games we really liked. He was solid, I thought, in the preseason. This year in the rookie games,
not the best.
Not great, especially his start. He looked rusty.
Yeah.
This first time, listen, it's the first preseason game, but like guys like Kyle Palmieri were out there. It's not as if the home team put out a just AHL lineup.
Yeah, there were players.
And
Barzal was out there.
He held his own very much.
Yeah. I would say, as I said in the article, both goalies played well. Bjarnason is, and I mentioned this in the story, that there's a lot of, I feel like, negativity in the fan base directed at Alexei Kolosov because of how last year went.
Mm-hmm.
But if he is willing to go to the AHL, he yet again becomes a viable long-term goaltending prospect, regardless of how ugly last year was. And I thought he was impressive in the game. He gave up 2 goals, but he made a ton of really big saves. And then Bjarnason comes out and looks every bit the part of a high-end goalie prospect in his period plus all the extra time.
That 2-on-1 save where he comes out and dives and he's aggressive, like, that's what, especially for an undersized goalie, like, you have to come out and take down the angle and you have to be more aggressive. And I thought he too much last year was just kind of on his heels waiting for it. And I just thought that was a really good sign for him. Yes, he gives up the 2, and Bjarnason, I suppose, was better. But from where we were last year with Kolosov, I'm willing to, if the organization is willing to wipe the slate clean and he's willing to just go to the AHL and try to develop, I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes.
I thought he looked a little bit shaky in this game, but it was obviously not worst goaltender in the history of the league shaky. So like, it was definitely, I think, a positive development that hopefully he can build on, because it would be nice if he would just go develop and maybe turn into something.
I see the comment about his about Kolosov's attitude. It seems as if the Flyers are at least going, we think he was just getting some really bad advice. He's a very young guy. We know there's just all sorts of crazy politics and geopolitics and egos and money and so many different things involved with KHL players coming over that maybe he has realized after getting his ass kicked in the NHL last year, the advice I was getting was poor. I am now willing to like do the thing the organization wants me to do because they clearly know what it takes more so than whoever was advising me last year. And then I put up an 850 save percentage or whatever the hell it was.
And it does seem like he's come in with a different attitude, to be sure. Look, do I think at times Kevin Kurz went a little overboard with the Kolosov hate? Yes, I do. It became a very funny bit of how
I was wondering if it was a bit.
How obviously annoyed he was with the existence of Alexei Kolosov. However, I do think that he made a decent point one time when he was doing his like poking the bear, where he was like, Alexei Kolosov's the third goalie and he's the first goalie off the ice after practice. Like, that is something that teammates are going to look at.
Yeah.
Teammates in the NHL who are already like, why is this guy still here? This is crazy. Why do we have 3 goalies? And then he's not putting in any extra time. He's making it abundantly clear that, you know, he's not happy with the situation. He thinks he should be playing. They're watching him get shelled when he actually does get games. And then he's not putting in any extra work after practice. I'm sure that rubbed guys the wrong way. I can tell you this year at camp, he's almost always been the first guy on the ice. He's getting extra time.
Okay.
It seems like, you know, whether it was him, whether it was people talking to him, it seems like somebody got to him this summer and was like, Kolosov, if you want to make this work, if you really care about making this work in North America, if you care about making this work with this organization, you got to play ball. You got to show that you're fully all in, not just with their plan, but also with showing that you're putting the time and the effort in, because it doesn't even just come down to the front office. Comes down to your future teammates. If they hate you because they think that you're an entitled POS, like, they're not going to be good to you. You're going to have a miserable time. And it does seem like he is, number one, seems like he's open to the AHL, which is already going to make him seem better to the front office. But it seems like his attitude in general is better in terms of putting in the time. And you know, even tonight, like, he's the backup. He's not going to get time. The entire game is going to be played by Sam Ersson. And it's not like I don't get the sense that he is pouting.
This is all good signs, really.
It's listen, it's a low bar right now, but after what we saw last year, it's can we salvage this prospect who the organization clearly still thinks highly enough of that they moved on from Fedotov and are allowing him to try to make amends for the mess that was the goaltending situation last year.
Yeah.
I'm for it. I'm all for seeing if we can salvage this prospect. Lots more still to talk about in terms of the first game, including Trevor Zegras' debut as a Philadelphia Flyer. But first, let's take our first break. All right, it's time for me to tell you about our friends at Xfinity. That's right, because if you're a sports fan, you just have to have Xfinity. It's the only place where you can find all of your favorite teams and all the best games. I love the experience of Xfinity with the 4K picture and sound. It feels like you're there, and it's really hard to go to someone else's house when they don't have the perfect setup. Maybe the Wi-Fi isn't great. They're trying to stream all these different things and they're switching between apps. And it's like, man, just go to the one place where everything is. There's no lagging, no buffering, and no switching. It's the only place for a big fan. It's the ultimate sports destination. And the enhanced 4K picture and sound, absolutely beautiful. Let's not forget the quad box. Sometimes you just have to have 4 games going at once. And on top of that, you get the real-time notifications and live stats right on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, make sure being a big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. While we're here, I got to tell you about the Ford F-Series, because for 48 straight years, the Ford F-Series has been the best-selling truck in America. And now the Ford F-150 blends that work-ready toughness with modern-day tech and luxury. It's offered in 6 powertrains, including a hybrid and fully electric vehicle. And it's got best-in-class towing up to 14,000 pounds. And it's made of military-grade aluminum alloy. So the body is tough, lightweight, and corrosion resistant. And let's talk about some of that outstanding tech. 360-degree camera system helps with trailering parking and off-roading, and you get the Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway, and it's all available. The cab options, perfect for any occasion, regular, super cab, and super crew. So it's got bed lengths to fit your needs. For more information, all you gotta do, visit your local Ford store. Okay, let's talk about Trevor Zegras.
Let's do it.
Because I think he was pretty impressive. Jeff Marek the other day was like, oh, they may have got what they were paying, or more than they paid for when you really think about it. But they may have found the thing they thought they might be getting in Trevor Zegras. Now, listen, did he score a hat trick? Was he the best player on the ice? No, but I think we saw a lot of really positive signs. The chemistry with Michkov, the 4 shots and 10 attempts. Mish getting 6 shots on 6 attempts. Grebenkin out there for 3 more attempts, gets 1 on goal. That line together, like the pairing looked solid. And Zegras a big part of it. And he's 4 for 9 on faceoffs, which... Listen, you win one more, you're over 50%. Not the end of the world.
He was over 50% for most of the game.
Yeah.
It was the last few that he lost, and that deflated his.
I think in your piece you said he went, he was 3-3 against their 2 top centers. Yeah. So that's, listen, breaking even. Maybe one day he'll become Sean Couturier or Claude Giroux in the face-off circle.
Unlikely, but maybe.
All we need right now is like be close to 50. That's what we're asking right now, and that's what he gave us.
I liked what I saw from Zegras, especially I thought the first period was rough for that line. It seemed like they were trying to get their bearings. The first shift to the second period, they nearly score. And then from that point on, they were dangerous pretty much every time they were on the ice. They were possessing the puck well. Look, we know that line, if there's a line with Zegras and Michkov on it, maybe the only exception would be if you put Tyson Foerster as the other winger. That line is going to get exposed defensively. Yeah. It will. It's just like we're not even sure that Trevor Zegras can stick down the middle, and we know that Matvei Michkov doesn't play a ton of defense. So they're going to get exposed defensively. But I love the idea of that being in case of emergency, send the 2 of them out there. Like that could be a third period line when you're down easily.
Yeah, no, remember in the old NHL games back when I would play them, it was like you had your lines that you could switch through. And then there was the hero line. Yeah. It was like, yeah, man, if you're down a goal in the third, you just need to basically put your power play out there. Yeah. I like that they tried them. I like that it was Coots with Grebenkin and Michkov in practice early. And then, all right, yeah, Coots isn't playing. You know what? We want to get a look at these 2 together. Let's do it right now. I like the idea of Grebenkin in that support role. I think he brings an element of skill that he can keep up with those 2 with the puck.
Agreed.
But he does something different because those 2 are going to be, I struggle calling Mish a perimeter player. And like the whole thing about Zegras, why he has to play center is because he likes carrying the puck through the middle and distributing outwards. But they're kind of perimeter guys. They make plays on the outside. Grebenkin's a little different. And I do like that dynamic there, and I like that they tried it right away.
And I'm sure we'll get to this, but the power play with the 2 of them, they didn't score, but like visually
better.
Visually, it's better.
It looked really good. And I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun this season. Just the 2 of them out there doing wild stuff. Like, I think there was a pass that Zegras made to Michkov at one point that was like, it looked very casual, but was obviously very intentional. And, had Mich gotten a little better hold of it, I think they would have scored. But just seeing the 2 of them out there together, and the idea that now we have something on the power play that should theoretically score goals in hockey games is very exciting to me, because I do think that and the goaltending are really going to be the 2 things that make or break this season. Like if the power play is crap again and the goaltending isn't good, it's not a playoff team. Both those things improve, we're on the bubble. So it's like it's pretty exciting.
You're not wrong. And going back to what you said, Bill, about the perimeter elements, I definitely get the sense, because I don't know if they're going to do a ton of, I'm not going to say coaching Michkov, because he's going to get coached, and Taka will be hard on him at times, but I don't think they're going to do a ton of adjusting the way he works offensively. Like the extent of what it's going to be is what we saw early in camp, where Taka was feeding him one-timers and showing him ways to gain leverage down low and near the crease. But I think they look at Michkov as like, this guy's an offensive genius. Just let him do what he does, and let's just foster that as much as possible. Let's address the other sides of his game that need some help, but the offensive side, that's him. I get the sense that Tocchet is gonna push Zegras a little bit, definitely on the defensive side to stick down the middle, but on the offensive side, I think he's gonna push Zegras a lot to not play such a perimeter game. And we saw it in the preseason game. He was going to the net. He had a couple chances that were in tight. I think back to last week, there was a play where Zegras and Michkov had a 2-on-1, and Zegras kind of just like stayed to the outside of the faceoff circle, takes a shot, it's stopped. And Tocchet mentioned it to us at the end of practice. He's like, I went up to Zegras, I went up to Trevor, and I was like, take that puck to the net. Be a little bit harder. You can't stay on the perimeter. That's not where the goals are going to be scored. And look, Zegras is more of a playmaker, but he's got goal scoring ability. He scored 20 plus goals in the league a couple times in his career. Why not try to turn him into a 30-goal scorer, especially if he's going to play, especially at least on the power play, maybe at times a 5-on-5 with someone as naturally skilled and with the vision and playmaking ability of Michkov. You got to put yourself in a spot where you can finish those chances. And that's not necessarily going to be on the perimeter. That's going to be in the slot. It's going to be around the net front. If you get there, Michkov, good chance Michkov is going to find you. And look, I like the idea of having someone like Gerbank in there who is naturally predisposed towards those types of areas.
Yeah.
But Nikita Gerbank is nowhere near as skilled as Trevor Zegras. I'd rather Zegras be the guy trying to finish off on those passes than Nikita Gerbank at least some of the time.
100%. And another thing I really liked about this pair of Zegras and Mish, again, I don't know how much they're going to play together at 5-on-5 in the regular season, but just the idea of Michkov playing 23-41 when he averaged 16-41 last season, and the idea of Zegras, who averaged 17 minutes last year and has never played more than 1850 in terms of a season average. He was over 23 minutes as well.
Not too shabby.
I like starting it off right away. Like, nah, we're leaning on you guys. You have more offensive skill than anybody else on this roster. And what did this team, other than like stop the puck, what did this team struggle to do so much last season? Put the freaking puck in the net. We are going to lean on you, and it starts day one. I really like that.
Michkov tried in Michigan, didn't he?
He did.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it. This is the year.
You know,
It's happening.
his success rate is low.
It's kind of low.
I feel like the overall success rate for those goals is pretty low.
Man, I don't know. Zegras seems to have a pretty high success rate.
Maybe he can teach him.
But I need them, if they're going to do it more regularly, I need there to be like variations.
Okay.
Like I've said, there needs to be like a reverse play where they both act as if they're doing it and the goalie doesn't know who has the puck.
There you go.
Like little things like that they could maybe try. And listen, that's some Mighty Ducks kind of stuff I'm talking about. I don't know if that's gonna get someone cross-checked.
Real.
That's gonna get someone cross-checked in the mouth. But hey, man, we employ Nick Delorier, so let's use him.
I mean, from the MMA guys, so they're fine.
There
Fair.
you go.
I mean, even today, I was watching practice and they had like a small area drill where they slammed the nets real close together. Zegras tried to do a Michigan there against his teammates.
This team,
They're gonna be so fun.
is going to. I can't wait for them to be good. Not only because, like, thank God it's been years, but they're gonna piss everybody off. Like,
I know.
Zegras, Mish, these guys are attitudinal on top of super skilled, and that usually doesn't play with a lot of the old school crowd. So I'm really looking forward to that. We got to talk about Jack Nesbitt too.
He's been impressive.
Jack Nesbitt is not going to make this team, is he? Like, even just for a little tryout, a little couple games.
So here's my thing. I can't see a world where they keep both Luchenko and Nesbitt.
Yeah.
And like, doesn't it make more sense to keep Luchenko?
You would think.
Unless they just like get totally starry-eyed over Nesbitt. And it's like, well, we got to have this guy. It's just shiny new toy.
It's just like, I know he has a way to go, and I don't think he could stick for a full season, but you do get the 9 games, and listen, it's been one preseason game. It'll ramp up as we get closer, but he creates the first goal. He has the neutral zone interception. He skates it in, he dishes it out, and sets Abels up so he can rip a shot. Listen, should it have been stopped? Probably, but
It was a nice shot, though.
That's hockey, man. Sometimes the puck just goes in. He made the whole thing happen. He's 3 for 10 on faceoffs. It is very clear he needs he needs a skating instructor.
Yes.
He just needs to get stronger so he generates more power in his strides. And Charlie wrote it in his article. Is the skating still a problem? Sure, though he does look improved even from where he was in development camp back in July. He can't play an 82-game NHL season, but so far he's one of these guys that I'm like, maybe he's just one of the dudes who's good. He's going to be the same player at every level. He just is who he is, and his game translates. I don't know. He's been impressive.
So here's a question I have. Because I've been turning over this idea in my head just because this is so similar to the Luchenko stuff from last year. Do you think the Flyers, or is this just like, no, we really like this guy and that's it? Do you think the Flyers care enough about the discourse around a pick? Because the discourse around the Luchenko pick was, it was a reach. We should have taken Buyam. You should have taken Hellenius. And then they spend the entirety of the first half of camp pumping his tires. He gets the trial. Nesbitt, it's like, you traded up. You traded 2 first-round picks for him. There were other guys. This was a reach. All like the Promens, well, not Promen, but like the Wheelers, the elite prospects, they have him real low in the rankings. And now we're getting the full court press about Nesbitt being real good. Do you think they care enough about the discourse to try to get people to be more on board with a pick if they know that people are anti the pick when it happened?
I have thoughts. I thought Bill was going to talk.
Go ahead.
So
I'm weighing.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
Is it that, or is it perhaps that like those of us sitting on our couch and reading Corey Pronman articles should probably chill a little bit when we don't agree with a pick because all of the rankings that we saw for the last 2 weeks said that this is wrong? Like maybe it's time to admit that maybe Danny Briere's front office is good at drafting. Because I think we were wrong about Luchenko when we were all losing our mind about it. And right this second, it seems like maybe we were wrong about Nesbitt too. So maybe it's an us problem.
But I guess my point, and like I am more than willing to admit 2-3 years down the road that we were wrong on Luchenko. If Luchenko is looking like a really, really good second line center and Buyam is looking like a perfectly fine second pair defenseman. But it's hard to evaluate it now when the reason why these guys are getting hype is because the people who thought they were good in the first place are telling us they're real good.
But you saw him with your eyeballs play a hockey game, and he looked pretty good.
He looked pretty good. That doesn't mean he's going to be pretty good.
No, I understand that. But also, he didn't look bad.
True.
And I think that the expectation when you are reaching on a guy is that he's not going to be as good as you thought he was going to be because you should have taken him 28 and not 12. But he didn't look like he was bad. He didn't look like a guy that shouldn't have been taken in the middle of the round. So I think there's like, yes, these guys are still cooking and we don't know what they're going to end up being. But I think that you can take these little nuggets of information and be like, maybe they know what they're doing.
I do want to comment because DA Flyers man does point out Pronman was very much pro Nesbitt.
He was a big Nesbitt guy.
He was the
lone voice in the wilderness saying, no, he's good, I swear.
We had him on the show because he had him ranked like 5-6 spots higher than everywhere I was seeing him mocked. So many people had him mocked to the Flyers with their middle pick, whatever it was, 21, 22. And they end up, trading up 10 spots or whatever it is for him. And it was funny, before that, we have Pronman on. I'm like, hey, you have Nesbitt ranked higher. Why? And he was like, oh, I didn't think I was getting a Nesbitt question.
Ended up being perfect because they took him.
They end up trading up for him, so I look like a freaking genius.
Sure, you are a
really,
genius.
I'm just looking at all these rankings and being like, this is different. Why?
I guess I'm just saying that I've wondered if that might be part of it, because it does allow, from a narrative standpoint, for the Flyers to put their fingers on the scale a little bit and change the perception of a pick that they know got a significant amount of backlash when it happened.
I do think there may be something to it. It's just like, I can't make the one-to-one comparison because Luchenko, so much of him getting the extra look and getting those 4 games is just straight up, the jerk head coach hates the old center. So we're bringing in the young fast guy just to make him look even slower. I'm playing him at 4th line left wing in the home opener. Suck it.
It's fair.
Like so much. So like I can't make the one-to-one comparison, but we do know that this team, I don't know if it's Danny, I don't know if it's Tocchet, like all these guys individually, but the organization as a whole does very much care about their public perception because it's been so low for a decade.
Yeah.
There could be something to it, but I can't imagine they're going to throw a kid who's nowhere near ready for the NHL into the NHL just to show Bill he's wrong. Yeah, like that. Please don't do that. Like, if I'm wrong, I'll find out and admit it in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, also, again, it's been one game, so all of this could change by tomorrow afternoon.
He could suck tomorrow, and who cares?
Even if the Flyers are trying to put their fingers on the scale, like you say, they still have to show it. Like if
he still has to play well when he gets the
Nesbitt
opportunity.
Like hot garbage, like completely out of place in that first game.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter that the organization was being like, "See what we got? He's really good." Because no, he's not. We saw it with our eyeballs.
That's fair.
But it's lining up. So I just kind of, I mean, it might be a little bit of both, honestly.
Yeah.
They're actually good. And also, Danny Briere wants you to shut up about him not being good at picking.
All right, we have more preseason to discuss, including tonight and who is in the lineup. But we got to take our next break. All right, it's time to tell you about Parx Casino, because whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win at Parx Casino. Maybe you had a real nice football Sunday. Maybe, you just got a little bit of downtime and you are looking to turn that downtime into some fun, maybe even some profit. Then you got to check out the BetParx online casino app, because they have games for everybody. Whether you love the casino classics like blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and all the slot machines, or you want to get in on some of the pop culture related slot machines, like the Goonies machine, like the Peaky Blinders or Squid Game or Walking Dead machine. You can do it all on the BetParx online casino app. And right now is the time to sign up, because new users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. All you got to do is super easy. Go to betparx.com, download the app right now, and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And now it's time to tell you about Monarch Money, because if you're having fun at the casino, you also need to keep track of your finances. Don't be irresponsible. Learn how to get your stuff together, and don't just use any budgeting app. Just don't rely on your, Excel spreadsheets and all of that. Go with 2025's best budgeting app, according to the Wall Street Journal. It is very easy to use, and Monarch Money is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances like I had for so long in my life, well, it's the perfect time to get Monarch, because Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. Links all your accounts in minutes. You can get clear data visuals, smart categorization of your money, and real control over your money, which is what we're all looking for. And it doesn't let you leave any money on the table. And when you're making good money, it's easy to get complacent. Don't let that happen. Don't let it happen. If you're not on top of your money, you could be missing chances to save more, invest smarter, or hit your financial goals. Monarch helps you stay informed so nothing slips through the cracks. It's not just another finance app. It's a tool real professionals and experts actually love. So check out Monarch Money today. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks, and use code PHLY at monarchmoney.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code PHLY. All right, where do we want to go next? Let's talk someone didn't have the best game. Noah Juleson.
It was pretty bad. He did have the big hit on Kashawn Aitchison.
Was it knee on knee?
Kashawn Aitchison apparently today said he thought it was. Watching it on the crappy stream we had, to me, it looked like the knee on knee was incidental, but Aitchison believes it was knee on knee. In any case, at the very least, Juleson did something at the end of the game to get the attention in a positive way of the people watching in the front office, because the rest of the game, it was all him doing bad things to get the attention of people at the front office.
Let me ask you a question about Juleson, because I have a worry that I think is based on
his number,
past trauma.
His number.
So
he's 47, by the way. Andrew McDonald.
Yes, I mean it's related. So we know that NHL head coaches really love someone that they know exactly what they're going to do at all times,
even if it's bad.
Yeah, right.
Hence Andrew McDonald playing all of the games.
Chris Van de Velde.
So we know that Rick Tocchet has some familiarity with Juleson.
He does.
Am I crazy for worrying that Juleson is going to be Rick Tocchet's Andrew McDonald in the sense that he's like, I know this guy. I know exactly what he's going to do. I don't have to worry about it. I want him on my team. And that terrifies me because he looked so bad.
I don't think you're crazy because he was that guy for Tocchet in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Vancouver fans hate him.
Vancouver fans are like, ha, good luck.
Yeah.
They are very much like, see ya, bud.
I had so many people quote tweeting me when I was tweeting that Juleson isn't looking good. There were clearly Vancouver fans just being like, he's doing it again.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the Vancouver fans back in Charlie's mentions.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're back.
Okay. I think we're cool again.
We're cool.
We're cool again.
Okay.
No, it's
Because I kind of ended up being right that team wasn't that good.
I could see
Just saying.
I could see it being an issue with him being the automatic 7 or 8. Oh, he goes in when there's an injury or whatever. But they just have so many bodies to play defense. Not a lot of them are like sure thing top 4 guys.
They're
But
not that.
bodies who kind of may have a place here in the future.
Yeah.
That you would just slot ahead of Juleson or Dennis Gilbert, who's going to play tonight, I believe. That I can't imagine he plays 65.
I guess
I just can't imagine that world.
Cross your fingers that Dennis Gilbert plays well tonight, because I will say in the
One of them is getting waived.
Well, in the scrimmage on Saturday, Juleson, as bad as Juleson looked on Sunday in the preseason game, which pretty much anybody who wanted to survive that stream could watch. Not everybody could watch the scrimmage. I was there. Juleson was just as bad, if not worse, in the scrimmage. So it didn't come out of nowhere. Whereas Gilbert looked pretty good. Gilbert was skating pretty well. He made some plays. He made some nice passes. So if Gilbert follows up outplaying Juleson in the scrimmage with outplaying Juleson in his first preseason game, maybe Gilbert, who did play a lot of NHL games last year, he played a lot of games for Buffalo, and he's nothing special either. But I think I might rather, at the very least, Tocchet doesn't have the pre-existing relationship with Gilbert that he has with Juleson, so I think it would be less likely that he would be adamant about playing Juleson over Emil Andrae, even if Juleson is bad. Or even if Gilbert is bad.
Excellent segue to the man who scored the shootout winner, Emil Andrae. It seemed like there was more good than bad with Andrae, just based on from what I saw and from everyone's assessments. Maybe not perfect, but a lot closer to the guy we saw that first time that had us saying, oh, top 4 NHL defenseman versus the recall guy who we were like, is he an NHL player? Was that your assessment too?
I thought he was good. I thought he made plays. He was carrying the puck. It wasn't perfect. He made some mistakes, but he was much more assertive. He was trying to impact the game in a way that he wasn't the second time he was up. And look, this is me going a little bit on the conspiracy theory side, but I legitimately wonder if the problem with that second call up was that he was scared to make a mistake because of Torts.
Yes. I 100% am with you on that.
I mean, when you see a guy those types of defensemen are going to make mistakes. We always say oh yeah, okay, this guy had this many turnovers. Go to NHL.com. Click the turnover leaders. You know who they all are? The dudes who have the puck the most. The guys who make a ton of plays. And if you're going to be one of these risk-taking defensemen, there's going to be some turnovers. There's going to be mistakes. If you're afraid to do that, then you're never going to make a play. And if Emil Andrae never makes a play with the puck, what the hell is he? Oh, okay, so we have this undersized guy playing mediocre defense in the defensive zone. Well, we could literally just get Noah Juleson to do that.
Yeah.
He has to be a guy the coaching staff has to be willing to let him make mistakes so that he eventually makes fewer of them. Perhaps that's the path we're on with Andrae now, as opposed to with the coach who, as soon as Charlie wrote he's a top 4 defenseman, said, no, he's not, and then demoted him a week later.
He took it personally that people liked him.
You're the one playing him 20 minutes, John, not me. And then you write it, and then suddenly he's arguing with you about something in his head, and then a week later he's back in the AHL.
Bizarre.
Listen,
I don't know if I actually had an impact on that, but it was very weird.
I think just the overall, the narrative, you weren't the only one being like, yo, this guy's really good, huh? Yeah. And it wasn't just the media. John Tortorella and Brad Shaw were playing him 20 minutes a game.
They sure were.
This was not just something we were making up in our heads because we don't like the other defensemen. They were doing it.
Yep.
It's the hot dog costume, you know? Like,
We're looking for the guy who did
like,
this.
you're the one, John. You could just tell Bradshaw stop playing him.
Which he apparently did.
Eventually he did. They like him too much.
Yeah.
His head's getting too big. Send him back. Make him ride the bus. But yeah, that was Andrae. I thought that we saw a much closer representation of the good Andrae than the bad. We'll see how camp continues to go because there's some spots. There's some spots.
There are some spots. The big question for me with Andrae is I just worry, and I really like Andrae. I want him to carve out a spot in this defensive rotation on the blue line long term because I think he's good. But I just don't know if he fits given the fact that they have York, they have Drysdale. And Drysdale also looked very good on Sunday night. I feel like he was impressive. I don't know if, like, you know, I wonder if Andrae to them is like the backup plan if the fix Jamie Drysdale thing doesn't work. And if it does work and they fix him, I just worry they won't want Andrae too. I worry about that.
I mean, see that being the case.
They have said maybe not that exactly, but when asked, they haven't denied the fact that, yeah, we don't want 3 guys who are 6 foot or under.
I was going to say they have explicitly said that they want to be big on defense.
Like,
so
I think you wrote everybody at rookie camp, all the defensemen 6'2" or under, or 6'2" or over.
6'2" or over, and then over 200 pounds.
Yeah, and then there's Emil, Andrae, and Jamie Drysdale, and Cam York is like exactly what 6'2" probably. Yeah, 6'195". I don't know if they want that.
Yeah, and I know Brent Flair was still involved in the drafting process, but Andrae was not a Danny Briere draft pick. Danny Briere did trade for Jamie Drysdale. So if push comes to shove, which one of those two is going to get the longer leash? I think it's going to be Jamie Drysdale.
I'll tell you what was really not super impressive, but just a good sign from Jamie Drysdale. And by all accounts, he played a solid game.
Yeah, he was real good. I liked what I saw from him.
I love that, one, he got a one-timer off to create the rebound that Michkov tied the game on. And 2, that it's from the deep blue line, and it wasn't a big wind up. It was just nice, low, compact, and bounces off the goalie's pad right to where Michkov is because he knows where to go. That's his game. And he buries it, like taking the one-timer from deep at the point. It's not like we saw him score a little last year, and it was kind of joining in, being the trailer, things like that. But this was how a defenseman has to create some offense from up top. And I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, I just like the fact that he still looks like the guy from the final couple months of last season, even though Shaw's gone, even though he's getting used to not an overhaul. Like, it's not like he's having to go back to playing man-to-man after playing zone under Shaw. They're still playing zone under Tocchet and Reard, and they're playing a slightly adjusted version of it. But it's still, in general terms, the same basic defensive zone system. He looks like the guy from the second half of last year, and that's encouraging. Now we just need to see when the games get real.
All right, let's transition to tonight's game. I think the only other thing of note was Lane Peterson got hurt.
Yeah, he wasn't out there today.
And, Shabanov, how'd that trader look?
He looked good. Yeah, he looks good.
Bastard.
Stinks.
All right, tonight's game, I don't know if we have lines or anything yet.
They did not run lines. Yeah, we have the roster.
We have the roster.
But they did not run lines.
So we have the forward group for tonight. It's Bump, Luchenko, Tippett, Richard, Coots, Brink, Abels, Dvorak, Eklund, Delorier, Gaucher, and Matthew Gard. And on defense, Grant, Sealer, Sanheim, Samson, McDonald, Gilbert, and Sam Erson's getting the whole game, or at least that's the plan now.
That's what Tocchet said. And we have a fair share of guys in this game.
We do.
Like, obviously, Bump and Luchenko are the big names. They're the guys that are exciting. They're the guys who are going to be paying attention to the most. But there's other guys, too. I mean, Rodrigo Abels is the only guy getting the second game.
That's what I wanted to ask about.
So that's interesting.
A second straight game. He has the first goal.
Yep.
He was good in the face-off circle again.
Tocchet told us today, he said he really, really liked his first period. Thought he dipped a bit, which I agree with. He dipped the final 2/3 of the game. So he wants to see how he does without a lot of recovery time. Does he follow it up strong, or does he carry over how he played in the second and third periods and be pretty much invisible? So that's interesting. And then on defense, this is a chance for
Grans.
Hunter McDonald, chance for Dennis Gilbert, and then obviously Helge Grans is possibly in the lead for that 6th spot. This is a chance for him to make a statement that he should be in the lead for that.
And
spot.
I saw a quote from Grans today. He wants to play a more physical game.
Yes.
And listen, if that right spot is open because Risto isn't there, that's the element that we need. Like, that's what they're going to be looking for. You have the right-handedness on your side. You have some experience. You look good in a little NHL tryout last year. I'm hoping to see a little bit from Grans. I'll tell you what I like about this lineup. What I don't like is no Michkov and no Demidov. That's annoying. But don't give that to those people. That's fine. I like that we have Delorier and McDonald in the lineup, because both Xhekaj brothers are out there. If you thought Arbor Xhekaj is nuts,
No, Florian's worse.
Florian Xhekaj, 175 penalty minutes in 69 AHL games last year, another 59 and 13 playoff games. He's insane.
And let's be real. These boys understand the assignment at a home preseason game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good that we've got a couple of tough guys in there.
I am happy to see it. I wonder if Delorier, the vet who needs not to fight in the preseason, gives either of them a go.
It could be. And one thing that you definitely need to pay attention to, not pay attention to, but it's obvious that this was very intentional. You look at who is in the lineup for the game against the Montreal Canadiens in Quebec. Sean Couturier.
Coots,
You got Nick Delorier, Jacob Gaucher, and then you've got Christian Dvorak coming back to Montreal.
Oh, yeah, he played there.
They went out of their way to make sure that all of the French Canadian people were in this game. They get to play the Bell Center.
I just want to point out the great production work there by Tyler, putting Torch's face on the Tim Robinson hot dog man.
Yes,
that
was without question my worst Photoshop job ever.
That's what makes it good. Nothing better than a bad Photoshop.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Bump and Luchenko and I'd say Grans are kind of the guys to watch tonight, outside of the possible fireworks with the Xhekaj brothers out there.
I would say so.
It's great. We have Tyler filling in on production today. And I just show him the Montreal lineup. And unprompted, he goes, Bill, how the hell would someone even go about pronouncing this? I was like, give it a shot. And he's like, I was like, I think it's backwards. It's Xhekaj. I think you're supposed to, it's just so, X-H-E, X-H-E-K-A-J.
Yep.
And it's Xhekaj. I don't know, man.
I mean, cool.
Crazy.
Cool. It's a cool name.
Really badass.
It's a cool name.
It's also it's badass, and the fact that he is a monster out there makes it even cooler.
Oh, that's cool. We're gonna get to see David Reichenbacher, the guy they picked instead of Michkov.
Oh yeah,
yeah! Can't wait.
Damn, now I wish Mish was playing. All right, that's pretty much it for tonight. Keeping an eye on Bump, Luchenko, and Grans, and I believe we have a few super chats.
Yeah,
at least
at
one.
least one.
Just the three.
Ooh.
Three. All right. Well, a couple from Adam S, of course. Adam S. First thing, sup, Hinks, my fellow 302er. Go Flyers. Habs suck.
Yeah, Delaware people represent.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. Yeah, 302 is the air.
I thought 302. I thought you were a big 2 shots of 151 gal at Delaware.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that was. I love 302s and Sea Isle. It's my drink. All right. From Adam S. Is Jet Luchenko playing wing tonight? This is actually something I think VG brought it up to me. He saw. Has Jet been playing some wing?
No, he's mostly been playing center. Pretty much exclusively. This is all coming from the fact that the camp lineup for the game tonight has him listed at right wing. I guess we'll see, but that could very easily just have been, because you got to understand the people that put together those lineups, it's basically just people in PR.
Yeah.
They could have just typoed it or maybe just got it from a different thing and had right wing. Looking at the lineup, I guess it's possible he could be playing wing, but there aren't a ton of centers in the lineup. Obviously Couturier is going to play center. Dvorak almost certainly will play center. Then there's Gaucher and Abels, but they have been using throughout camp one of those two guys regularly on the wing. They've kind of split them. So it wouldn't shock me if the 4 centers are Couturier, Dvorak, Luchenko, and then one of Gaucher or Abels. But I guess if they want to try him out of the wing, they could go with Couturier, Dvorak, Gaucher, and Abels and have Luchenko on the wing. We shall see. I would guess probably he'll play center, but We'll have to wait and see.
All right, we're gonna have to hit overtime because we have one more super chat and then we got to wrap up.
All right.
So we are heading to overtime.
There we go. We
Go-
got it.
Go to allphly.com to keep watching, and let's hit this last super chat, and it is from Marco Belcher 5-hole. What's going on, Marco? Says, I'm totally a sicko. That's why I'm here. It's
that's
why
why
we're
we
all
love
here.
you.
Yeah.
We just spent an hour talking about
our
Flyers
people.
preseason hockey games
Yeah.
that weren't even televised, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm really excited for the season to get
Thank you.
underway. But that is all the time we have for you on today's edition of PHLY Flyers. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, we are over 200 likes. By the time I get home, I want to see it at 300. Hit that like button and make sure you are following us right here on the YouTube page. Set that reminder bell so you never miss a live show. We came to a decision today. No pre and post game for the preseason games that eventually are on television. The first one will be Thursday and then the 2 October ones, but no pre and post game. So 4 o'clock every day till the season begins. Follow all of our socials. We're at PHLY_Flyers on Twitter. And follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. That's it. I am Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. That's Kelly Hinkle. Thank you to Tyler. Till tomorrow, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.